If someone lets you down even just a little, do you start criticizing and pushing them away? The truth is, your perfectionistic safety wall that you built for yourself as a child, as protection, is no longer serving you. Today, I'm going to share a story that illustrates that point, and then I'm going to tell you what to do. Picture a beautiful day, 1984, South Louisiana, probably the springtime, best time of year in South Louisiana. My husband had come to the barn with me because I had to catch up on some rides that I was behind on, and he was helping me. I was a horse trainer at the time, and I was training the horses for my employer's grandchildren. So they had to be kid-proof. So I wanted to be sure that I was fulfilling that obligation and putting in all of my time, even a little extra. We got done riding, and I gave my husband the horse that I wanted him to turn out in a particular pasture, told him where to go, where to put the horse, and he walks out to the field, through the gate, closes the gate, takes the bridle off to let the horse go, and proceeds to swing the bridle at the horse and go, "Yah!" Now, my husband wasn't a cowboy. He wasn't even a pretend cowboy. And that is the worst thing that you can do when you let a horse go, because the last thing that you want is for your horse to kick out at the handler as he's running back to his pasture buddies. And in all honesty, I had just spent 2 weeks training that horse to do exactly not what my husband had just encouraged him to do. I was so mad. I was furious. And we had been married about 3 years. And so we were still kind of working through a lot of stuff. We didn't really swear because we were committed Christians, and I was trying to convey how angry I was, and I didn't know what to say to him. So I yelled out, "What a dumb, stupid, coon-ass thing to do." Now, you have to understand that the term coon-ass is actually not derogatory, but descriptive. In fact, it's actually more of a term of endearment if you live in that area of the country. And what it means is a particular culture, very indigenous to South Louisiana, that has a certain ambiance that is just so wonderful. I can't even tell you how beautiful it is. But if you say to somebody, "Ooh, that's kudos, yeah," we know what it means. And I couldn't think of anything else to say, so that's what I called him at that moment. Well, my husband is actually very good-natured, unlike his spouse, and he doubled over, and he was laughing so hard that someone from Idaho would call him that. He was just beside himself. He couldn't breathe. So he comes walking back to me at the stalls, and I'm still angry, and I'm just ranting about what a dumb thing that was to do. And he's trying to hug me, and I'm not real huggable. And eventually, of course, we got past it. And I trained the horse for about another week not to run away and kick out at his handler. And he settled back down and got back into the routine. So there was no harm done. But we have to think about that, because as a perfectionist, I kept myself safe when I was a child. The problem is that I began to impose those expectations on others as well to keep myself safe as an adult. And you know what? It wasn't working anymore. And it wasn't going to work in my marriage. In fact, I could have destroyed my marriage, and I almost did. So what are we going to do to change that? First of all, we have to learn to adjust the expectations that we have for ourselves. And that's challenging as well. So I'm going to tell you how I did it. I started very simple. I left the forks unstacked in the silverware drawer. I left the knives a little out of order in the knife drawer. Every once in a while, I went to bed with the dishes not done. And sometimes I left the house in the morning with my bed unmade. Now, to this day, those behaviors are something that I have to manage because I'm still very much a perfectionist. I have high expectations for myself, and I have high expectations for those around me, but I've had to learn to lower them and to ask myself the question, how important is it? So what I've learned to do, especially in my relationship with my husband, is to try to stop, maybe even count to 3, and ask myself, Sally, is this a 5-alarm perfectionistic dumpster fire and you gotta go running out the fire station with lights and sirens? Most of the time, the answer is no. And most things can actually be negotiated, especially if you have a good spouse like I do. And I'm so grateful that he stuck with me. Because when you are an adult child of an alcoholic, you enter relationships, long-term committed ones, with a few behaviors that need to be changed. That's just the truth. He had no idea what he was getting into, but he stuck with me. And I'm so thankful that he did. And at this stage in our lives, it's even more important because my husband has a mild form of dementia now. And so he's not quite as clear on things as he used to be. But he's still very good-natured. And I've had to learn, again, to adjust my expectations and to be kind. You can accomplish so much with being kind. My name is Sally New, and I help Christian women recover from the long-term effects of growing up in an alcoholic or addict home, or really any kind of dysfunctional home. And I also help women who are living currently with alcoholism and addiction to draw healthy, doable boundaries that promote family peace and focus on recovery-oriented solutions. My information is in the link below. Click on the free document and download a 3-step process to help you just let go of anything that's bothering you. You were never meant to walk this journey alone. And as a certified life coach, it would be my honor to partner with you. Reach out to me in the comments. Leave me your prayer requests. I'd love to pray for you. And I will be back in the next video. Bye. God bless, guys.